morning, Birmingham. Today is Tuesday, June 27th. The time is 9:32. I call to order the meeting of the Birmingham City Council. This morning's invocation will be led by Ralph F. Patterson, Jr., Special Agent Senior of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, State Bureau of Investigation. And our Pledge of Allegiance will be led, Councilor Quinn, would you do the honors? Councilor Darrell O'Quinn. If you'll please stand and join us. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To the mayor, the city council, employees, and citizens of this community, it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you today. Let us pray. All heads are bowed, all hearts composed. Most merciful and compassionate God, might we begin this day with pure hearts, with clear consciences, with courage and hope. May your Holy Spirit be upon this assembly. Oh God, bless our mayor, city council, employees, and the citizens of this community, our nation, and the world beyond. Give us hearts to sacrifice in the pursuit of excellence. I ask that our actions bring glory and honor unto you. May the power of truth lead to justice. May justice bring peace. Let gratitude be awakened, let humility be deepened, let love be quickened. O God, your mercy is everlasting, and your truth endures all generations. In everything we give thanks. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Special Agent Patterson, for that prayer. We appreciate you and Mrs. Patterson. Thank you all so much. At this time, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Abbott.
Present.
Councilmember Clark.
Present.
Councilmember Moore. Councilmember O'Quinn.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councilmember Tate. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Woods. Council President Pro Tem Smitherman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Council President Alexander.
Good morning, President. Thank you. Councilors, minutes are not ready from the meetings of April 4th, 2023 through June 20th, 2023. Good morning, Chief. We have communications from the mayor. Thank you. Chief Mitchell. I know.
Good morning, Madam President, President Pro Tem, councilors, citizens of Birmingham. All right, Birmingham Stallions are headed to the championship. Congratulations to the Birmingham Stallions. They will return to Canton, Ohio this week to compete in the second straight USFL championship. Everybody can watch the Stallions take on the Pittsburgh Maulers on Saturday, July 1st on NBC at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. For details, go to the usfl.com. And for everybody in the audience, on the count of three, let's yell, giddy up. 1, 2, 3.
Giddy up.
All right, and now the mayor's here.
Giddy on.
Nice handoff, Chaz. Appreciate the alley-oop. Morning, Council. Morning, Madam President. As stated, let's be sure to support our Stallions. I want to share with you all about the Gaston Motel opening this week. Beginning June 29th, the historic A.G. Gaston Motel will open to the public for free visits for a limited time Thursday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, that begins June 29th. Will be open to the public for free visits for a limited time Thursday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. As many of you all know, this motel is the key historic site of the Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument and the collaborative partnership of the National Park Service, the City of Birmingham, and the Historical Preservation Authority. It is the centerpiece of the Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument, which was established in 2017 by President Barack Obama. I want to give a special thank you to the leadership team on leading this effort, which includes Denise Gilmore of Social Justice and Racial Equity, Denise Bell and her capital projects team, as well as Alicia Smiley, as the Senior Advisor and Chief Accountability Officer. And for those online as well as in the audience, for more details, please visit birminghamal.gov/Gaston. Again, that's birminghamal.gov/Gaston for more information about the A.G. Gaston Historic Motel. As you know, the Economic Development Team continues its Wind Down Wednesdays. The inaugural Wind Down Wednesday after Work Inspired and Empower series will take place at the Bowell Auditorium beginning tomorrow, June 28th. The event will take place in the lobby of the entrance patio and will include food trucks, free wine tasting, cash bar, DJ, as well as vendors, organizations with their information and materials. This month's theme is around celebrating men, fathers, and male mentoring groups. It is free to everyone, and those 21 up are welcome. Speaking of celebrating men, the City of Birmingham is hosting a men's health fair this Friday, June 30th at Lynn Park. Again, the City of Birmingham is hosting a men's health fair this Friday, June 30th at Lynn Park. The event is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we want to encourage men throughout our community and city to get tips on physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial health. Of course, Food Truck Friday will be at the same time in front of City Hall, so we want to encourage the men on our team who are city employees in all departments to please take advantage of this opportunity and learn better ways to take care of yourself and invest in your health. As many of you all know, the City of Birmingham offices will be, with the exception of police, fire, and 911, will be closed on Tuesday, July 4th in observance of a holiday. For those who usually put your trash out on Tuesdays, trash will not be picked up. Again, don't put your trash out Tuesday. Because Wednesday, July 5th, will need to be a makeup day for uniform trash pickup citywide. And recycling for July will be on July 12th and July 19th. Again, recycling will be July 12th and July 19th. And as a reminder, the City of Birmingham will continue to keep residents informed about bulk trash pickup with daily updates. You can always go online to birminghamal.gov/bulk trash, and residents using a new cart should place them in front of your homes. And you can receive more tips and updates by going to birminghamal.gov/pickup. Now, at this time, I want to invite Dr. Wesley Williford up, who is the Medical Director of Disease Control for the Jefferson County Department of Health, and his team, because he has a team here with him, so please come on up. If you all recall this young man, we spent a lot of time with him in 2020 and 2021 related to the coronavirus. And he provided a lot of helpful advice, tips, direction, and guidance on how to take care of not just Birmingham, but with residents in Jefferson County. But related to today's proclamation presented before you is about HIV Testing Day. Again, that's HIV Testing Day. So what I want to do, Madam President and Council, is just read a portion of it and provide some alarming stats, but I think the public needs to know this. And then allow Dr. Williford, as well as the team, to come up and share some more detail and words with this body. HIV and AIDS is one of the world's most serious public health challenges. Without HIV treatment, people with AIDS typically survive about 3 years. There is currently no cure for HIV. However, currently available medications allow for near complete control of an HIV infection. Testing is critical, and so we would like to amplify the message of getting tested with the proclamation that I will read in part. Whereas the southern United States accounts for more than half, 52%, of estimated HIV infections in 2021, compared to just 21% in the west of our country, 14% the Midwest of our country, and 14% in the Northeast. In 2021, an estimated 1.2 million people in the United States were living with HIV, and 87 out of every 100 people living with HIV knew their status. And whereas prevention of new cases of HIV can be achieved through regular HIV testing and rapid linkage to HIV care when the person is diagnosed with HIV. The United States Preventive Services Task Force currently recommends that all pregnant persons, adolescents, and adults aged 15 to 65 years should be screened for HIV infection if they are at an increased risk of infection. And whereas June 27 is the National HIV Testing Day, more HIV testing options are available. No matter how you test or your test results, you can take the next step for your health. In observance of this day, the Jefferson County Department of Health will offer free HIV testing at the Central Health Center in downtown Birmingham, whose address is 1400 6th Avenue South. Again, that's 1400 6th Avenue South from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, therefore, I, Randall L. Woodfin, Mayor of the City of Birmingham, along with the Birmingham City Council, do hereby proclaim the 27th day of June 2023 as National HIV Testing Day. And at this time, Madam President and Council, I would like Dr. Williford to come up and share a few remarks with this body.
Good morning, and I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak this morning. HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus, was first recognized as a syndrome as acquired immune deficiency syndrome in 1981, and the virus itself was identified in 1984. And since the beginning of the HIV epidemic, approximately 40.1 million people have died due to complications of the virus. Over the past 2 decades, remarkable advances have been made in the medications that are used to treat HIV, and has allowed us to drastically decrease the number of deaths related to HIV. Unfortunately, as Mayor Woodfin said, the brunt of the new infections of HIV are centered in the southeastern United States, and so we're accounting for 52% of the new infections here in the South in 2021. But one thing remains clear with HIV. Untreated, unidentified infections will continue to cause significant illness and significant numbers of deaths for people who are not diagnosed and not being able to be treated. Knowing your HIV status helps you choose options to stay healthy. And as we observe National HIV Testing Day on today, June 27th, the Jefferson County Department of Health would like to be a community resource to help improve our identification of HIV cases. I'm pleased to announce that at this event, we're going to be offering free HIV testing and other sexually transmitted infection screening, and that's going to be occurring at our downtown location from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and that's located at 1400 6th Avenue South. We really hope to see as many people there as possible. We're also going to be providing some other vaccinations. Human papillomavirus, or HPV, Mpox, and COVID-19 vaccines will be available at this event as well. As part of the Jefferson County Department of Health's commitment to reducing new HIV infections and new cases, I want to highlight some of the services that we provide. Our sexual health clinic has expanded our services to our Eastern Health Center in Roebuck and our Western Health Center in Midfield, Alabama. At all 3 of our clinical locations, the JCDH provides quick, convenient, and confidential testing for HIV and sexually transmitted infections, as well as access to visits with a sexual health care provider. We want to help to eliminate the stigma associated with seeking sexual health care. The Jefferson County Department of Health is committed to creating a warm, welcoming, and confidential environment for all of our services. As part of our efforts to end the HIV epidemic, the Sexual Health Clinic also provides PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis, for the prevention of HIV. PrEP is a once-daily medication that can drastically reduce a person's chances of acquiring HIV. Additionally, we offer PEP, or post-exposure prophylaxis, which is a medication that can be taken after a person may have been exposed to HIV. In an effort to improve our services, the JCDH Sexual Health Clinic has implemented an online self-scheduling for persons needing sexual health testing or a visit with a healthcare provider. And this can be accessed by going to our website at jcdh.org and selecting the self-scheduling option. Again, it's quick, it's easy, and it's convenient, just trying to make our services more accessible to anyone in the county. There's a lot of work left to be done to end the HIV epidemic, but the Jefferson County Department of Health remains committed to serving our community and helping aid in that effort. In closing, I want to thank the council for their time, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate Mayor Woodfin for giving this proclamation and making us aware of the HIV testing that you're currently performing. We're very excited to have you all here today. I know you became a fixture for us during COVID-19, so I do want to thank you. I believe you probably helped us to get that message out to our residents. Several of us had online workshops and things like that, so I thank you. I thank you for bringing your staff. There are friends among you that are on your staff and that we've worked together before, so thank you. I know about HIV, have performed that testing in the laboratory at a regional blood center that I worked at, so just glad to see this emphasis again brought to the community, so thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more note, Madam President and Council, of importance. And at this time, Madam President and Council, I would like for Ted Thiele, UAB's Associate Athletic Director for UAB, for communications with UAB, that is. Leah Clayton, Associate Athletic Director for Fan Engagement and Marketing at UAB, as well as the UAB Blazers cheerleaders and the entire UAB family who was present, to join me. Madam President and Council, I'd like to take the time to pause and acknowledge. Today we celebrate the University of Alabama at Birmingham's official membership in the prestigious American Athletic Conference, AAC, on July 1st, 2023. The city of Birmingham, Birmingham community, and all the UAB Blazers fans are extremely proud of UAB, and we are recognizing them with the proclamation that I will read in part. It states, whereas the American Athletic Conference will consist of esteemed institutions, including UAB. I won't even name the others right now. And whereas UAB has been a proud charter member of Conference USA since 1995, and has consistently been one of the most competitive programs within the league since its inception. And whereas UAB's membership in the American Athletic Conference will provide a larger athletics footprint and offer an increased exposure for the entire institution, enhancing its reputation and visibility. Now therefore I, Randall L. Woodfin, Mayor of the City of Birmingham, along with the Birmingham City Council, do hereby declare July 1st, 2023 as the University of Alabama at Birmingham Day in the city of Birmingham, and celebrating UAB's esteemed membership in the American Athletic Conference. And you cannot end anything such as what I've just read without saying Go Blazers. Madam President, with that said, I would like Mr. Freely to come up and share a few words with this body.
Thank you, Mayor Woodfin, and thank you, the City Council. 2 years ago, we accepted an invitation to the American Athletic Conference, and this Saturday, we officially joined as full members of the 18 varsity sports at UAB. This is a big deal for our university. This is also a big deal for the city. It'll provide us exposure, more exposure on national television, greater competition, and will continue to drive economic impact into the city. We renew old rivalries with Memphis, which we bring back the battle for the bones. Tulane, East Carolina, our peers that have been in the league for a few years. So we're very excited about it. I want to thank Mayor Woodfin and the whole entire City Council for making this Saturday UAB Day. And if you are driving around downtown this Saturday night, you'll see green and gold throughout the entire city. All the buildings, the lights will be on. So it should be a very exciting day, and moving forward, we're very excited about our future. So thank you.
Go Blazers.
Thank you very much. Of course, as a UAB alum, this is very exciting for me, as I know it is for the members of the city of Birmingham, to see you all become a part of this particular conference. We're just so excited for what UAB and for the students and for your athletes and all the member groups that will be part of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And you have our word that will continue to represent Birmingham on the field, in the classroom, and in the city.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Go Blazers.
Madam President and Council, that concludes the mayor's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Whitman. At this time, councilors, without objection, I'd like to suspend the rules to allow the following presentation. This morning, we have members with us of the Youth and Peace in Action, these ambassadors, and if you'll please come to the podium. And I believe we have Stephen Crenshaw. As they come to the podium, these student ambassadors were selected from a group of 150 students in 7 Birmingham City high schools, and they became certified as New Gen Peacemakers through the year of 2022-2023. During their journey, each of these students, they have completed workshop training, created maps of city harm, violence, healing, peace, and developed recommendations to share with civic leaders. I believe Councilor Tate has already had an opportunity to present and greet these students, and several of us also have invitations to greet you. So we just wanted to I wanted to present you this morning so that you can tell us about your journey and you can introduce yourself. So who's going to do the honor for us? Thank you.
Good morning again to the City Council, to the Mayor in his absence, and to all of the constituents in the audience. I also see Mr. Ratcliffe. I want to give a pleasure to you, and I say thank you. On the behalf of YPA, we have a brief overall summary of our journey on today. And as I digress, I'm going to call Ms. Gabby and Ms. Asia, to the podium so they can give their speech.
Good morning. I am Gabrielle Hayes. I attended. Good morning. I am Gabrielle Hayes. I attended G.W. Carver, and I will be attending A&M University in the fall. I would like to thank you on behalf of me and my members today for having us to speak. I would like to thank the Birmingham City Council for allowing us to talk this morning. So far, we already met with 2 representatives from the City Council, Mr. J.T. Moore and Mr. Tanya Tate, along with others we will have scheduled for the upcoming month. We would like to thank all the members for our time. We are excited and honored to have these opportunities to talk this summer. A small group of Youth and Peace Action / certified New Gen Peace members are meeting over 20 different Birmingham influencers from city leaders as yourself, universities, and nonprofit organizations. We want to meet with all these people across the city to hear our perspectives as young people on how to reduce the violence and increase the peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So what is New Gen Peace, and what is Youth Peace in Action? Well, we present 175 Birmingham City Schools students who attend Youth Peace in Action programs and the 150 students across all 7 high schools who became New Gen Peace Builders. New Gen Peace Builders are certified to truly understand drivers of conflict and peace, imagine innovative solutions that create change, take positive action to address issues affecting our community, build bridges for the rest of our lives. One of the things that we have learned on our journey is that we all have perspectives about how violent or how peaceful our community or city, state, or even the country have become. And they are depending on our age, gender, income level, or even the neighborhood that we might live in. Maybe you have even seen some of the violence or the peace that we are identifying today. So it is important to start by sharing our own narratives and stories. That is what we did in the first 2 days of our workshop at the beginning of our 2022-2023 journey. In the next workshop, we learned university-level coursework to identify instances of violence and peace in our community. Across all 7 high schools, we identify 11 core issues or scenarios that are most important to us. After the second workshop, we made presentations to other students in our school. Altogether, with about 3,000 of the 6,000 school students of Birmingham City High School, we have engaged and we have took action for this YPA journey to continue. Then for one day, all the schools came together and brainstormed in teams about what can be done across the city. And on May 5th and 6th, we completed the journey with a Youth Peace Weekend. And that includes the 60th anniversary of the 1963 Children's March, hosted by the BCRI, and the summit that envisions the future, hosted by New Gen Peace Builders, along with Dr. Bernice King. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Asia Muhammad. I'm alumni from Carver High School and a rising freshman at Lawson Community State College. In the program, we mapped harm and healing across our communities. We created 30 different maps and identified 11 different issues, from the need to control gun access to protect women and children to the need for more green spaces, described more in detail on the one-page handout. One type of peace is called negative peace, and another is called positive peace. Negative peace is whatever we do to intervene and stop the kind of violence you can see, that's visible violence. This is the way we're all taught to think about the peace, stopping the bad. Positive are the things that we can do to create overall well-being and prosperity, and the need of peace that lasts. There's also something called Guttard's triangle of violence that shows that there's the kind of violence we can see, such as guns, fights, and crimes, and there are more invisible things we do that lead to some of the direct violence. For instance, the way we treat each other culturally, and things that we do or do not do, law, politics, and economics that also influence levels of violence and peace. We as students in the Birmingham City Schools too often mourn our losses. For that reason, we want to stop normalizing violence and create peace. I personally have witnessed and experienced how hard it is to cope with emotions in the continuous cycle of life after death, and how to continue life with various obstacles while your environment is changing daily. From young people being the product of our environment, it's hard for some to even get up or even live their lives the same because of the atmosphere being so heavy. Mentally and physically, this can take a toll on any human being theoretically. Physically, you can feel weak, which can affect your daily life and work ethic. While some consider it lazy, one could simply have lost their self with said loved one. Mentally, it interferes with the train of thought of some students, which usually has had everyone on their toes because of how suddenly 3 different peers in our class, plus family members, just simultaneously leave with no warning, which leaves us young people with the thought of who's next and even more overthinking. And now, I want to create and grow and spread peace in my community.
Thank you.
In conclusion, therefore, we are asking for your support in growing Youth Peace in Action. We know that the council supports the Mayor's Common Ground program, and we would like Youth Peace in Action to be supported by the Mayor's programming, the Office of the Superintendent, and the Board of Education. Also, the community leaders within our communities, to make it possible for more students to become, to learn and grow about Birmingham and how to grow peace and eliminate violence in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're so appreciative of you bringing this information to us and telling us about your journey. We know 60 years ago, it was children that led us through the civil rights crusade. And so we thank you for your crusade that you're leading to bring peace to our community. So thank you. For the students that have not introduced themselves, would you just come by and just give us your name and where you attend, or either where you plan to attend next in the fall?
I'm Mariama Diallo, a rising junior at PD Jackson Nolan High School.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Robert Gaines, and I'll be attending Ramsey High School.
Good morning. My name is Hasitu Diallo. I just graduated from Jackson Nolan High School, and I'll be attending UAB this fall.
Good morning, Council. My name is Terrence Miller, and I'm a rising junior at PD Jackson Nolan High School.
Good morning. I am Shantasia Williams. I attend Winona High School and also will be a senior this year.
Thank you very much. You know I was waiting on Winona. Thank you all so much. And Councilor Moore.
So first of all, I just want to say congratulations to each and every one of you for what you're doing. Obviously, I think it's amazing that, we have high school students that are engaging in these conversations early because this is the world that you're about to go into. And so really grappling with, how do you add value to the community now and gain a better understanding of how, city government works and, the position that you play in making sure that cities are successful is extremely important. I know we got a couple of freshmen or incoming freshmen that are coming in. We got some some juniors, some sophomores, and a couple of seniors that are leaving. I know Mr. Steven, you're pretty much leading the charge with this organization right now, but you will be leaving and going to Morehouse this fall. So definitely shouts out to him. But we need somebody that's gonna take your place. We need us a transition plan. And so I see Mr. Terrence Miller here, who is also a teen that I had the pleasure of working with at AG Gas and Boys and Girls Club back in the day. And so just excited to see that, you're still engaging and that all of you are engaging our schools around this topic of, just learning about civic engagement and how to add value to the community. So kudos to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Pro Tem.
Yes, so let me ask this, because we have to ask in today's age. Is everybody Christians? Everybody? Okay. You have to ask that nowadays. But what I thought about when I saw you all was something that was spoken over me when I was your age. And it's 1 Timothy 4:12, and it's let no man despise your youth, but be an example for believers in spirit and conversation, etc. And if I could tell you anything, I want you guys to take that, because I don't want you all to feel like because you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, that your words don't matter, because they do. In fact, you all are the best example because you guys are so pure, right? You haven't been tainted by the world yet. And so I'm so excited to hear what you all have to say, because you guys are actually in the community. And so hopefully, Devin, right? Hopefully you come back to Birmingham and come back over the holidays, and we would love to hear from you and some of the things that you learned at Morehouse, because going to HBCU, you really have a heightened level of who you are as a person, as a male, as a black person when you go over there. So I'm so proud of you all. I really commend you all. I think when I was in high school, they just gave us like a little seminar and put us in the Carver Theater and asked us what we wanted to hear. But I'm happy to hear what's going on. And so I want you guys to continue this. And whatever support you all need from me, you absolutely have it, because we have to come together as a community to heal each other. So thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you. Councilor Tay.
Thank you, Madam President. Good to see Gabrielle and Asia Muhammad representing District 9, all of you young, bright scholars who are representing the city of Birmingham. It is an honor to have you all walking in the direction of peace, because what we see in this world today, I always say everything God made was good. It's just what's in the world, has it in turmoil. But, to represent, and I had a very rich conversation with all of you, and to see the journey that you have taken and organized and strategized around the issues, I would highly recommend and highly say to my colleagues, when you guys meet with them, please be very attentive and listen to what they're saying. They've already given you a blueprint to what community safety looks like. And I often said, we cannot do this alone. The community has to do this together. This is a multifaceted approach, and we all have to play our part. And so congratulations on your journey for those that are going to Alabama A&M, like Gabby, Lawson State, Morehouse, and the rest of you. Continue the peace journey, and hopefully we can get, more people involved on your journey. Congratulations.
Thank you all again. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Right, at this time, councilors, will turn back to our agenda. And at this time, Mr. Clerk, would you read us through the items that are considered for consent?
Yes, ma'am. Today's consent starts on page 2 with items 1 and 2. Items 1 and 2. Page 3, items 3 and 4. Page 4, item 5. Page 5, items 6 and 7. Page 6, we have items 8 and 9. Page 7, we have item number 10 on consent. Page 8, we have item 11 on consent. Page 9, we have items 12 and 13 on consent. Page 10, item number 14 is on consent. Page 11, item 15 is on consent. Page 12, item 16 is on consent. Please note that on item number 16, there's a request to withdraw item 12 So we should withdraw item 12 from item 16. Pick back up with the consent agenda on page 14 with item 17. And on page 17, we have item 18 on consent. Page 18, we have items 19, 20, 21, and 22 on consent. Page 19, items 23 and 24 on consent. Page 20, we have items 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31 on consent. Page 21, we have items 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37 on consent. Page 22, we have items 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42 on consent. And page 23, we have items 43, 44, and 45 on consent. On page 24, we have items 46, 47, and 48. Please note that on item 46, it should actually be an ordinance. Basically the same language, but it should be an ordinance instead of a resolution. And you should have that item in front of you as well. On page 25, we have items 49, 50, and 51 on consent. Page 26, we have items 52, 53, 54, and 55 on consent. Please note that items 54 and 55 were recommended by Budget and Finance. Page 27, we have items 56, 57, 58, and 59 on consent. Please note that all of those items were recommended by Budget and Finance. Also, on item number 58, we need to add District 3 to the districts here, making it 1 through 9. And that's it for the corrections on that page. And page 28, we have items 60, 61, 62, 63, and 64 on consent. Page 29, we have items 65, 66, 67, and 68 on consent. And page 30, we have items 69, 70, 71, and 72 on consent. And then we have, I think it's like 8 addendum items, but I'll make the correction that we have later after we conclude.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. At this time, councilors, are there any items you'd like to have added or removed from consent? Yes, Council Pro Tem.
So items 60 and 61 they both were recommended by Budget and Finance. Yes, 60 and 61. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's items 60, 61 are also Budget and Finance on page 28. Any other items, councilors? Councilor Tate, would you like to have that item removed from consent? All right. Item number 46 on page 24. The request is to remove from consent. Any other items, councilors? Okay, Council Pro Tem.
If there isn't any objection, can we add the addendum items to consent as well? I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at them, but they're the same ones that were presented yesterday in Budget and Finance.
So that would be items 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, and 81.
Madam President?
Yes.
Before we add 78, I need to make some corrections to 78. 78, the small equipment amount, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth line down should be Can I get Mr. McDaniels to help assist me with that? Go ahead, Mr.
Go ahead, Mr. McDaniel.
Madam President, on item 78, the ending amount that will go to the District 8 capital improvements account will be $25,742. The amount that will be reduced is the professional fees and consulting. That amount will be, it is listed as $25,494. The amount that we're adjusting it to is $14,494.
Okay, Counselor, so those adjustments, those costs have been adjusted to this item. Any other?
And then, Madam President, for item 77, I asked that it was changed to, what was it, park improvements instead of housing demolition.
Did you get that, Mr. Clerk, on
Mr.
item 77?
77. Council Pro Tem Smitherman, Can you repeat that? I didn't. The mic.
Basically, it will reflect what the other ones say, which is appropriating that money to parks and recreation for various park improvements. And right now it says housing demolition.
So we need to make that adjustment to the order.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Yes.
We confirmed that change. We okay with that?
Thank you. And we also asked that these be put on consent, correct? Okay. Any other items, councilors? All items designated as consent are routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member, the mayor, or citizen interested in a public hearing so requests. If so, such items will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. All matters of permanent operation will be read. All other matters will be announced by reading the item number only. All public hearings will be announced. Councilors, if I could entertain a motion and a second for the consent items.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Thank you very much. The consent agenda passes. If you were here for any items that are represented as consent or that have been added to consent, those have been approved, and we'll continue with the rest of the agenda. Mr. Clerk, first item.
Should be item 25 on page 19. An ordinance to adopt the general fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024 is presented by the mayor on May the 16th, 2023 with amendments. Motion, please.
Thank you, councilors. This item is presented to us to adopt the general fund budget of the fiscal year that ends on June 30th, 2024. That was presented to us by the mayor, and we also entertained questions from the public in two different settings. And so this time, are there any questions that you have? Councilor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to also really thank my colleagues for the hard work you all have done. We've had numerous conversations with the mayor, really advocating on behalf of our neighborhoods and our districts as well. But I had a couple of questions, and it's really about the street assessor that we put in this past year's budget. I know, Chief Mitchell, you mentioned like an update. When will that be done, and when will we incorporate that assessment into the street paving plan to make it more up to date?
Madam President.
Yes, Mr. Chief.
So we just closed out our RFP for the strategic planning phase of street paving. Probably about less than 2 weeks ago. The staff is now in the stage of evaluating all the RFP proposals, and hopefully we'll have that before the council within the next couple of weeks for full approval. And then we can implement the actual planning phase of grading all our streets.
Okay, I just couldn't remember, so thank you. And then one last thing, I know we've had a lot of discussions with street paving, for example, and so really I would like to propose a resolution of intent by the council that says that part of the surplus money will be used for street paving, and I would like to move for unanimous consent.
Madam President.
Yes, Chief.
You actually have a motion on the floor now. You have to deal with first.
Okay.
So,
well, I'll just do it after.
Do it afterwards. All right. Thank you. Any other comments or questions, Councilor Clark? You're not on.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to get an explanation of the $460,000 that's moving in this item. It's on attachment 1 of 3.
All right.
Madam
Chief,
President.
yes.
Yes. Based off the conversation that the council had with the administration on last week at the last committee of the whole, it was noted that it was a request of the council to increase code enforcement by including 4 new code enforcement agents and 2 clerks that will work to enhance our code enforcement section of PEP. So what's before the council was the amendment that will reflect those positions added to this fiscal year's budget.
Okay, but it says it's going to street paving, so I'm just confused.
So what you see is a reduction in street paving in order to pay for those salaries.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Councilor Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. I think that during this process, Mr. Mayor, that it was, it's very clear that my stance on going back to the Mayor-Council Act, the way it previously was, is something that I am for. But I want to clarify something. And that is, I'm very, very grateful, and I think this council collectively is very grateful to you for how you are willing to engage us and willing to find priorities of this council, of which code enforcement was the biggest one probably after our Wednesday night meeting, I think. And that you're willing to put that in the budget and find a way to solve for it, whether it be through potential surplus or whatever it is, that you're willing to work with the council on that. I do think that the imbalance of the Mayor-Council Act has the potential to not have a true three branches of government, and while that might have been misquoted, I think that you have been extremely diligent and intentional in making sure that as we hear from the citizens, the 9 of us on this council hear from the citizens of Birmingham on what the citizens' priorities are, that you're making sure that that's in the budget. And so I want to thank you for that publicly, because I value our friendship very much, and no matter what anyone takes, no matter how you put different words together to suggest that there's anything other than that going on, I want to make sure that you understand that you have done an excellent job of making sure that we're included in the process, from not only including us at the departmental level when the hearings take place, but also when there's an issue, that you go above and beyond in making sure that that is heard. Now, we're not going to always agree, because we're two grown adults, and two grown adults don't agree on anything ever. But with that being said, I want to thank you very much for making sure that when there's an issue like code enforcement, which was heavily discussed over and over and over on Wednesday, that you do everything possible to make a situation right. And I know you have a lot on your plate, and I know that it's more like a platter that's overflowing. And I think that I speak for this council, and that we really appreciate that when there is an issue and it's broken and you have everything else on your plate, that you're willing to take time to fix whatever that is. So I just want to say that publicly. I hope nothing can be misconstrued about that, I hope. But thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Williams. Any other comments or questions before we take the vote? Councilor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Madam President. And I really I think you and I talked about this. We have requested this before the vote, but I would like an update on the social services, like the HEAT program, the financial literacy program, and really just for our knowledge so we can know the effectiveness of it. And it's not a thing that we don't trust y'all when you say we want to put more money in it. We just would like to know what's going on, because if we don't request it, then we don't know. And so we want to know, okay, if this is working, can we put more money in this? Can we help to contribute to it? So I would like that as a request sometime very soon before the new school year starts, that we have an update on that. And then I look forward to really continuing to dispel the rumors about the budget, because I know Mayor Woodfin has done a lot of work behind that, but I just want the public to know this budget does reflect a lot of your priorities. Gun violence, $350,000 towards credible messengers, for example. Our youth, I mean, millions of dollars going into our youth. We just talked about code enforcement, street paving, weed abatement. Like, there are things in there that are your priorities. And honestly, I would love for the public to come ask us directly, because a lot of times people are going to put things, bad information out there, intentionally or unintentionally. So I want the public to know that we did do our best advocating on behalf of you all. And thank you, Mayor Woodfin, for amending your budget, your proposed budget, because I don't know the last time a mayor has actually listened to the council and proposed any amendments, because usually it is, this is my budget, this is how it's going to be, take it or leave it. So I do want to thank you for that. I want to thank Madam President also for her work, and everyone else as well. So I look forward to this new budget season and what we can do to continue to move Birmingham forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I just want to congratulate the mayor on programming a pretty sizable operating budget. I do want to say that we have to have a capital budget that has new projects in it, and I don't know how you're going to get us there, but, you know, we need that. And, you know, my big issue is, you know, sewers and making sure the sewer system we have can perform as well as it can. And I do think that, you know, crumbling concrete tops into the sewer, you know, is just impeding the flow of what we do have in place. And we just got to, you know, figure out how to maintain our sewer system. If we can't wholesale replace it and upgrade it, we just got to make it perform as well as it can. And so I'm hoping that, you know, with the operating money we have, we can do a better job maintaining the sewer system that we have in place. Yeah, so that's really my biggie, and I'm just going to hit on that as much as I can. But I do think for this council, you know, every day is budget day. There's lots of money moving all the time at the city. And so I think it would, you know, bode well for us to be, you know, more proactive and organized around our priorities on an ongoing basis. As things like the surplus and other topics surface, you know, we already know what our values are as a body. And I don't know, I guess that's really all I have to say. But thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Clark. Councilors, at this time, we're ready for the vote.
Okay. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, thank you, councilors. Item number, I forgot what item number it was.
25.
25 has passed, and yes, we do have another item that coincides with this. So first, let me say thank you to the mayor. Thank you to the members of the finance team. It's been said before, this process doesn't start just at the time that the proposed budget is brought forward to us. There's conversations with department heads, with the finance team, with the mayor. So that is taken into full consideration when that budget is prepared. I want to thank the councilors, the 9 of you, for the diligence, the attention that you paid to the budget during the times that those budget talks started, as well as listening to our residents and going through this budget and ensuring that what our residents have asked for have been considered within this budget. So I really want to thank you. I hope that you have seen how this process has worked so far. I know, we all know the constraints that we are under as a council when it comes to the Mayor-Council Act. We've seen a lot written in the paper about strong mayor, weak council. We've seen statements made about how this process is or does not reflect what is within what the residents want. I hope you've seen that opportunity that we've had to dialogue with the mayor and get some of those proposals changed. So I thank you, Mayor Whitman, for listening to this council when it comes to code enforcement. We all know what we went through on Wednesday, and so I'm appreciative. But I'm most appreciative to the 8 of you for the work that you do for each of your communities and the dialogue that you're willing to have among us as well as with the mayor. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Madam President, to you as the President of the Council, Pro Tem, who also serves as Budget Chairwoman, and to your other 7 colleagues, the collective 9 of you, thank you.
At this time, Madam Pro Tem, you had an item for resolution.
Yes, well, I'll restate it, but
Yes.
I wanted to do that just because of that attachment Councilor Clark had mentioned, just showing a good faith effort that we will use part of the surplus for street paving. I know we have, just a reminder, we have used this surplus for this past budget for street paving. What was it, sidewalks, Legion Field, Rickwood, amphitheater, parks, our libraries. So even if we may not have something in the operating budget we couldn't give that much money to, we are very thankful and blessed to have a surplus where we can make up for that. And we can include other things, but I thought street paving was like a really important thing that we could put towards, because our streets need some help. So I would like to move for unanimous consent, a resolution of intent by the council that the surplus money be used for street paving. A portion of, well, that was my first one, I couldn't.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all, I did like 10 minutes ago, calm
That's
down.
okay. That's okay.
I'm sorry, it's part of.
Okay, and that was the second.
Okay. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all. Thank you, Madam Pro Tem, for bringing that to our attention. I will like to say that as part of what we'll be adding to the agenda for Committee of the Whole, we do want to keep honest that dialogue and the requests that we've had for these information that we'd like to have on a continuing basis. So we'll talk and we'll see what that frequency is. Do you like it quarterly, or how soon you'd like that? And we can have that conversation. We'll be sure to get that back to the mayor's team. Any questions or comments about that? Councilor Abbott, I'm going to let, and then Councilor Moore.
Yeah, and I don't really have any questions about that, but I didn't want this opportunity to go by since, I've been through a lot of budgets, and some of them have been very contentious, and some of them have not. And this one was, it had a potential for being contentious, but the mayor fixed that. And most of us came away feeling, I think all of us came away feeling better than we felt before. And I wanted to also thank Mr. Mitchell, Chief, one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, for writing such excellent answers to council members' questions. Because I really like those links in there where you said you can just go look at all this stuff yourself. But I appreciated that, because we need information. The council members, we get asked a million questions at those neighborhood meetings, and you need to have some answers. But I also wanted to encourage the council and the mayor. I take a lot of notes. And I went back and read through my notes from our mayor-council retreats we've had in the past. And we've been talking about code enforcement and trash and brush and our sewers now for a long time. So we need to make sure that maybe we need to have a meeting and get our own priorities like on paper, and then share them where no one can forget them when they're, working on the budget, because we don't want any contention. Even though I guess it would make us look like we weren't doing our jobs if we didn't have a little. We could just make some up. So when we have our mayor-council retreats, and I trust we'll have more, it would be good to, document what we're saying, and then make sure that when the budget time comes, we pull that out of our briefcase and make sure that it gets considered, because that poor code enforcement issue has been beaten to death, and then right at the last minute we had to have a fix. So maybe we could not do that next year.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Abbott. Councilor Moore.
Yes, ma'am. I have not been a part of as many budget processes as my colleague, Ms. Abbott. But I will say that this has been one that, I'm excited about, because to her point as well, going to these neighborhood association meetings and having conversations with residents about code enforcement has definitely been one of the top priorities. And so being able to go back and to say, hey, we have done our part to advocate for you and on that behalf is a big deal. I know that Council Pro Tem asked about information about certain programs. I also would just like to get updates around what streets are, I guess, in the queue to be paved as well, because that is something that when we're going to these different meetings, they're asking us these questions about, hey, you know, when is this going to happen? And the only thing we can say is this year, right? But not necessarily knowing exactly which one is next, where we are on the list, and just being able to have that information handy would be helpful for us to be able to share with our residents to say, hey, you can expect that this will be the next road that is in the queue to be resurfaced. So,
Thank you. I do know that information has been disseminated, but we'll be sure we're going to refresh ourselves. And then I hear you saying as well, that we have some type of updates, like if there are changes to that information, so that we can get that information out to our residents as quick as possible. Because, again, we are asked this all the time, and so we just want to be sure that we can have that information handy. So thank you for requesting that. Councilor Clark.
Thank you, Madam President. Along those lines, I don't know what it's called, but it's the study to assess the condition of all our streets citywide. I'm really interested in that because I feel like we're working off old lists, and the conditions of our streets are always changing due to utility activity. And so having a new look at the all our linear feet of streets to determine the relative condition, I think that's what I'm really waiting on for our resurfacing list to sort of reflect those new priorities. And I know that's underway. I just don't know. I know we funded it. I just don't know where it is and when it's coming.
That was the question I asked about the street assessor. He was saying the RFP is coming before us, and then they're going to do the evaluation from there. It's just taking a while. So soon? Well, yeah, next year, yeah.
Next year? Okay, next fiscal year.
Well, you want them to take their time, so.
So do you have an ETA on when it'll come before us, Chaz? Yeah, please repeat it.
Just repeat it. Sorry.
It's okay. I don't mind repeating myself. So we had the RFP that was concluded probably around 2 weeks ago. Staff is evaluating all the proposals, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have the actual agency that will help and assist the city in grading all the streets for the council.
Are you saying dates?
I cannot give you a solid date into that.
No, I'm hearing you say a word. I can't make it out. You said you'll have before us the dates?
No,
the grades?
The approval of the proposal for the team that will work with the BDOT and capital projects on grading all of our streets.
Okay, grading the streets. Okay, and do you have a sense of the duration of the contract once it's awarded?
We have to evaluate the proposals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that could have been specified in the RFP.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The only other thing I wanted to say about this whole budget process, I couldn't think of it when I was talking earlier, is that, we pass the budget and then we get these blue books, but we don't get a periodic, maybe quarterly, high-level sense of what the performance is against our projections. If we could, I know we've talked about that in the past, at least a mid-year, but if not, just some high-level, charts and graphs showing us where we are against revenue received, based, a budget reconciliation, if you will. From time to time. And I know it won't be exact based on an audit, but if it's directional, I think that would be helpful because I don't find the Blue Book to be very user-friendly or in real time, but high level. I don't know, Mayor, how do you feel about providing some interim performance information to the council?
My mic works. Madam President, to your colleague's question, the administration is definitely open to, I guess in addition to the Blue Book, some form of a public presentation to highlight what's actually in the book, to provide some context. If you recall, the Blue Book has definitely been changed to reflect better ability to how to engage it, but we can always look at making it more user-friendly.
And Councilor Clark, you may not be aware, but Madam Pro Tem is Budget Chair. She had asked for a mid-year review in one of our meetings, and that had been communicated. So there was an expectation that we would be working with the administration to receive that information. And then, again, we can go through, and once we receive it, we could put that on the agenda for Committee of the Whole, and then if they have that presentation to us. Is that agreeable with councilors, or the frequency? I know that I understand.
Yeah, I feel like we've asked for it, but I just don't know that
we
we've
get it?
gotten it.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else? Yes, Madam Pro Tem. I'm sorry, Councilor Tate, I apologize.
Very quickly, Madam President, thank you, Mayor, thank the 8 of you as well. But I want to thank Attorney King for engaging us on Wednesday, how DNET can play a part in this code enforcement. So I just want to publicly thank you, Attorney King, for letting us know that the DNET is available to assist also with this code enforcement issue as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Pro Tem.
Yes, and Councilor Clark, I do agree with your request. So I'm not going to ask for monthly, because back in the day when my mom was on council, it was monthly, and I think that was a lot. But I think like quarterly or mid-year reviews should be good, because I think a lot of councilors still need a little bit of training on understanding the Blue Book. But I would like to just see, Madam President, just like a revamp of the budget process from our end. Maybe make it more public friendly. For example, I know you had an idea to do a budget one-on-one video, just kind of explain it, maybe on the website before May process, or maybe even hearing just from people about how they feel about the budget sooner than May and June, just to make sure that everybody is included. And maybe we can get some more civic engagement as well, maybe have something with the youth, hearing them from that. I know Council Moore wants to do a youth council, so hearing from just different groups, and it may take us a long time to get through there, but I think everybody will feel a lot better about what they want to see in the budget. So maybe at that retreat where we talk about our priorities, we can try to look at it and get guidance from Councilor Abbott, since she's seen, 22 budget processes so far. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. I think that's a very good suggestion. So I believe we have our agenda ready now for our next retreat. And then, again, I do like, though, the suggestion of the engagement, the civic engagement, because I keep saying knowledge is power. So the more that everyone understands the process, and what some of us now, this is second, third go-round on the budget process, and I know it's always evolving. The more we understand about it, the better the process will be, and so that we can ensure that for everyone. So thank you all. Good suggestions. We'll be sure to get those implemented. Thank you. All right, councilors, if you would turn your attention back to the consent agenda, item number 20 on our agenda, which was on page 18. The mayor's staff is assisting the owner of that particular property that's listed under item 20, and so they are going to remove that item. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam President, we want to remove that item from the
All
agenda.
right, thank you. So, councilors, what we need to do then is reconsider the consent agenda so that it reflects that we remove item 20.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the motion would, there you go.
Second.
And adopting the consent agenda.
And adopt.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Thank you very much. That item has been amended and the consent agenda readopted. Thank you very much. Our next item, Mr. Clerk.
Item 46 on page 24. As stated earlier, there should be an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute for and as the act of said city a lease agreement between the city of Birmingham and the Offender Alumni Association for the city-owned facility located at 1200 Tuscaloosa Avenue, Birmingham, under which OAA shall eliminate and prevent the spread of blight and deterioration for a term not to exceed 1 year and provide services to the citizens of Birmingham to include, but is not limited to, reentry navigation services for individuals returning to the city after incarceration, youth intervention and family strengthening support forums and violence intervention and prevention strategies, teaching life skills and mental health workshops as consideration. The city shall make the property available for such purposes at a use value that is equal to the value of services which the parties have agreed is 60 hours per month. Motion, please.
All right, thank you. Councilor Tate, you asked that this item be moved off consent.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to thank Deborah Daniels, Carmon Owens, Tony, Cassine, Tim, that whole team of individuals. I don't know if you all are aware that this is the team that's leading the hospital-based violence intervention program. But this is pivotal. And thank the mayor and his team for offering this bill. I also want to thank Brandon Johnson, who has worked very hard during the mayor's first administration to get us to where we are right now. This is, I often say this all the time, you cannot police your way out of any type of crime or anything. It takes social services and getting in the weeds and getting into the community and assessing what is going on in the community and having boots on the ground. One thing that I do want to elevate with this team is these individuals are already credible messenger trained. They are part of the Southeastern Credible Messenger movement, where we want to continue, get more of them, on the streets of Birmingham, in the streets of Birmingham. But just to thank, the hard work that these individuals, this organization that I know that I move a lot in community with, what they do, and the proof is in the pudding on what they do. So thank you, Deborah, your team, Tim, all of you guys, Tony, Cassine, Carmon, I see you over there in the corner. And Mayor, thank you again, and your team, and Brandon Johnson and Uche Bean for champion and leading the way. And glad to be able to walk alongside you guys to get this effort done.
I just want to tell you all congratulations on your new building. Welcome to District 6. And I think it's really profound you guys are in the heart of West End, because you all are very much needed in West End, and just being down the street from the Crescent Center. I know you guys have a summer program that you all are doing with you all, and I think we've been in talks about that, but I don't know if they're allowed to speak. No. Well, I guess we'll want you guys maybe to come back and talk about your services so we can kind of tell the constituents about it. But I've learned a lot from Councilor Tate being on the council. I just want to kind of talk about what a credible messenger is, just an example. So my dad told me he was in Green Acres, because Green Acres is one of our favorite restaurants. And so he talked to an older gentleman, and he said, it's kind of crazy, because there was a young man about to kill somebody, another young man, over $100. $100, you all. And he said, I stopped him. I said, you do not want to lose your life and take somebody else's life over $100. And he was able to stop a killing. And that's why credible messengers are so important, because those are some of the same people, honestly, our age, maybe a little younger. There's a credible messenger in the Midwest that's 17 years old and certified. So that's what Council Tays mean by we can't police our way out of violence, because a lot of times we need to talk to each other in order to prevent that. So I want to say thank you for the work you all are doing and the future work, and whatever support you all need, you all have it for me. So congratulations and thank you again.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank you, Councilor Tate, for pulling this item off of consent so that we could have this opportunity to have this dialogue. We're very appreciative of the work that you're doing and that you're going to do and bringing to our community. So thank you all so much. Really appreciative of you. Thank you. Thank you. And so we will also include this as a presentation we'd like to have later for Committee of the Whole. Thank you. Councilors, at this time we do have a motion on the floor. So we're ready for the vote.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, that item passes. Thank you very much. Does that conclude our agenda, Mr. Clerk?
73.
73,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
right.
Item 73 on page 56, receiving the emergency repair notice from the purchasing agent relative to storm infrastructure failure north of Reverend Abraham Woods Jr. Boulevard and 15th Street North intersection.
Thank you. At this time, councilors, we do not have any speakers, so we will entertain your comments. And who's ready to go? Councilor Williams, you smile. So you go. And that speaker has been pulled off the list.
Okay.
This item was taken care of. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam President. Due to the 4th of July holiday, the regularly scheduled Economic Development and Tourism committee meeting will be rescheduled for a special called meeting on Tuesday, July the 11th at 11:30 in conference rooms D and E. Please have all submissions to India Bailey at india.bailey@birminghamal.gov by Thursday, July the 6th. Even though it will be a holiday weekend, the Eastlake Farmers Market is still going to be strong and full swing. So Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to noon in the parking lot of Eastlake United Methodist Church, they will have their regularly scheduled farmers market, which of course you can use your SNAP, EBT, double up bucks, and all that kind of good stuff for fresh produce if you live, well, no matter where you live, but it's on the east side. We have no upcoming neighborhood meetings on the week of the 4th, this upcoming week, and so I hope everybody has a safe 4th of July. I always say this, fireworks are illegal in the city of Birmingham, and obviously gunfire in the air is also illegal in Birmingham. And just like New Year's Eve, the 4th of July, our communications center sees a increase in calls from both ShotSpotter and from residents calling about people doing either celebratory gunfire or fireworks. Please, please do not participate in celebratory gunfire or fireworks. They're illegal, but really not celebratory gunfire. Happy 4th.
Thank you, Councilor Williams. Councilor Tate?
Thank you, Madam President. The Fountain Heights neighborhood meeting will be tonight at 6 p.m. at the Fountain Heights Recreation Center located at 1101 15th Avenue North. Dolomite neighborhood meeting will be held tonight, and this conference call at 6 p.m. You can call in at 720-843-2669. The code to get in is 3789426. I want to thank the NAACP. I had an opportunity to be tapped to be on a panel discussion around police, justice reform, and violence. The NAACP had their first annual Shelby Summit this weekend, so I definitely want to thank them for inviting me out and considering me to be a part. The next public safety meeting will be held on Tuesday, July the 11th at 1 p.m. in conference room D and E. Please submit agenda items via emails by Wednesday to July the 5th, no later than 12 noon, to the following recipient: Patrice Collins, and it's patrice.collins at Birmingham, spelled all the way out, al.gov. Happy 4th of July. As my colleague has already said, please refrain from celebratory gunfire. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Tate. Councilor O'Quinn?
Thank you, Madam President. As Councilor Tate just mentioned, Fountain Heights Neighborhood Association will meet tonight at 6 p.m. at the Fountain Heights Rec Center. Crestwood North Neighborhood Association will also meet tonight at 6:30 at the Girls Inc. Center at 5130 8th Court South. And then finally, the Transportation Committee will meet on Monday, July 10th at 2 p.m. on the 3rd floor of City Hall in conference rooms D and E. Items can be submitted to the agenda by contacting Kimberly Phillips at kimberly.phillips@birminghamal.gov. Thank you. That concludes my announcement.
Thank you, Councilor O'Quinn. Councilor Abbott?
Thank you, Madam President. The Planning and Zoning Committee meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow is canceled, and so that's one little bit of time we get back. The Neighborhood Association meeting for tonight with the Redmont neighborhood has been canceled, so that's another little bit of time. And I want to remind everyone to either call 311 or download the My BHAM 311 app so that you can include photos with your complaints. And certainly we want all residents of District 3 to go to our website for all of the information that we don't have time to give at this point in time, and that's www.bhamdistrict3.com. And I wanted to say, I don't have a lot of time these days for goofing around and having fun. But I went to see the Savannah Bananas on Saturday, and that was the Friends of Rickwood Park really outdid themselves. It was hot. They could have done something about the temperature, but the game was a lot of fun, and there were more kids there than you could count, and they were all having a lot of fun. And I also went to see Peter Pan at the Virginia Sanford Theater, so this was like my big weekend out. But anyway, the production was fantastic, and sometimes we forget all the things that are available for us to do in Birmingham. You'll hear that little whine every once in a while, there's nothing to do. There's plenty to do. You just have to be conscious and know, check things out. But Birmingham's a great place. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Abbott. Councilor Moore?
Thank you, Madam President. Norwood Neighborhood Association will be meeting on tomorrow, June 28th, via Zoom. The meeting ID is 312-626-6799, and the code is 9913175540. We also have several neighborhood associations that are taking place on Monday. First up, we have the Collegeville neighborhood that will be meeting at Greater New Antioch Baptist Church, 3309 33rd Street North, at 6 p.m. We also have Zion City, Maple Grove, and Brownsville Heights that will all be meeting at 6 p.m. on Monday at Brownsville Heights Community Center. Wanted to also just let the residents of the Kingston neighborhood know that tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Lighthouse Ministries Church, 4600 9th Avenue North, there will be a neighborhood meeting taking place around how residents can come together to address gun violence in the neighborhood. And so just want to give a special shout out to Pastor Holt and his congregation for taking the lead on creating this space for residents to come together, talk, and strategize around how they can address this together. And so wanted to give a shout out to them and encourage residents to attend. And that concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Councilor Moore. Councilor Clark?
Thank you, Madam President. So neighborhood meetings in District 8, we've got the Bush Hills neighborhood meeting tonight at 6:30 p.m. in the newly renovated auditorium of Woodrow Wilson School. That's on the front side of the school on 4th Court West. Or if you can't attend in person, you can still go to www.bushhills.org to get a link for the Zoom meeting. Please note that the Thomas neighborhood will not meet next week because their meeting, their normal meeting falls on the 4th of July. So they're going to just wait until August to meet. The ARPA Creative Industries Recovery Grant Program applications are closing soon. This grant program is intended to provide direct financial assistance to creative ventures that were negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. 40 grants of $5,000 each will be awarded to City of Birmingham-based small businesses and nonprofits that are focused in the creative industries. So this includes culture and heritage, culinary arts, design, media, film, performing arts, and visual arts and crafts. So you can go to www.createbirmingham.org to learn more and to apply before June 30th. Congratulations to Bama Health Foods. This 5 Points West business was devastated by a fire some time ago, and through their perseverance and sheer power of will, Jackie Fazekas has brought this community-serving business back. It's located at 1923 Bessemer Road, so you want to get on over there. It's beautifully renovated, and they seem to have a lot more inventory than before, so please support this business. Also, Rick Woodfield is on a roll. Congratulations on an uber successful return of the Savannah Bananas, sold out crowd again, even though they played at Regents Field and Rick Woodfield. But also, they've added a minor league game between our beloved Barons and the Montgomery Biscuits, and this will be as part of the 2024 Juneteenth celebration. Our beloved Boutwell Auditorium is turning 100, as the mayor noted, in 2024, but the celebration is starting this year, starting tomorrow with the Wind Down event. And it's celebrating men, fathers, and male mentoring groups. It starts at 5:30. It goes on to 7:30 right here at the Boutwell. And there will be wine tasting for adults. That's the part I'm interested in. But there's DJ, food, fellowship, and more. Each Thursday, we do meet up at the Starbucks at 5 Points West Crossplex at about 7:55 to do a 1.5-mile loop. You can join our partners from Freshwater Land Trust and District 8 Neighbors for a little casual morning exercise and conversation. All paces are welcome. And in conclusion, though, I want to share a quick letter that was written by an officer at Rising West Princeton to a member of Alice Williams' team, CRO Harold Houston. It says, "Dear Harold, I want to take time this morning to thank you for all that you do and the information and advice you provide to Rising West Princeton Neighborhood Association to make sure that we are being successful as one of the Birmingham 99 neighborhoods. Without a doubt, you are the MVP, in my opinion. I am delighted and truly blessed to have you as our community resource officer. No matter when I call and or email and or text for information or advice on any matter, you readily provide answers regarding my concerns. You have indeed made my work so much easier, and I am truly grateful. Thank you for submitting pictures and complaints on illegal dumping, dilapidated houses, overgrown lots, etc. I probably sent in 30 or more. I never have to worry about our needs being met because you will let us know immediately what you can and cannot do. It means a lot to our team to know that someone recognizes the effort we put forth to make a difference in our neighborhood. We do appreciate your support. I appreciate you." And this is from the Secretary of Rising West Princeton Neighborhood to the CRO, and I'm glad she shared it because, you know, so many times we get so many complaints, and just to, you know, for a CRO to get a nice letter, and I know he does it takes a lot of pressure off of us for one, but he also tries to respond. He can't fix everything every time, but I do think, you know, the code enforcement enhancements will certainly help and go a long way to helping neighborhoods like Rising West Princeton deal with some of the issues. I mean, so many of the 99 are just like this, so just wanted to share that compliment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Clark. Madam Pro Tem.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. So I actually forgot to tell y'all last week, I took my father and my mom and my nephew to see Shrek at the Red Mountain Theater. Y'all, we had a time because it was so funny and it was almost better than the movie, but I was really impressed that we had this a part of the arts community right here in Birmingham. So I don't have any kids, but we saw a whole bunch of kids. They were laughing, enjoying each other. So if we ever get a chance, I think we should support them. I think they had Dream Girls during Christmas time, and they were sold out, and Shrek was actually sold out too, so I really enjoyed going to that. The next PIC committee meeting is canceled due to the holiday, and it probably will be canceled for August 2 during travel. The next Budget and Finance meeting will meet Monday, July 10th at 3:30 p.m. in conference rooms D and E. Submissions are due Wednesday, July 5th by noon. Submissions received after noon will be placed on the next Budget and Finance agenda. The District 6 office will host our monthly health fair on Thursday, July 6th from 5 to 6 at the West End Library. The topic will be breast cancer, and we will be partnering with Brenda Brown Bosom Buddies. I know she did something with Madam President last week, so this is just continuation of it. So we'll have fresh fruits and refreshment and water for people. It was really good last year. Every Friday, the Arlington House is having Fish Fry Fridays from 11 to 2. Plates are $10. We will have our next farmers market on Saturday, July 8th from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. at Memorial Park. I think we'll have watermelons this time. I really am excited. We had a good crowd, and as we said, we'll have double bucks EMT, pretty much every form of payment that you have. And also, we will have the recipe that Cody was cooking on Talk of Alabama last week. It was really good, you all. I actually created it the other day. So it's okra and vegetables and honey. And we actually got pretty much all the supplies from the farmer's market. So also, 4th of July, happy 4th of July. Every year for about 39 years, the Titusville community has had Titusville Day. And so myself, along with neighborhood leaders and partners, we're going to have movies in the park the night before. It'll be at dark 30 at Memorial Park. That's July 3rd, that Monday. And we'll have free ice cream while it lasts and free popcorn as well. And then Titusville Day is the day of 4th of July at Memorial Park from 3 to 9. We've had partners from Commissioner Tyson. Thank you so much. She's actually sponsoring Jazz in the Park. I don't know the names of the men, but it's been a good time every time. I think that starts at 6 or 7. But we'll have free food for people. We'll have catering food, inflatables for the kids, a game truck. We'll be playing cards. So bring your lawn chairs. We're going to have a good time. Making sure that everybody just have a clean and just really safe way of celebrating the 4th. So I'm really excited about that because I grew up seeing it and now I was able to help plan. So, and then lastly, National Crown Day is July 3rd. And so in celebration of that, the Art Museum will be hosting 2 events. There will be one on July 8th, and then there will be an actual festival July 9th from 12 to 4. And you can go on the Art Museum's website for that. I think the mayor's office is recording a video. And luckily I still have my braids, but I think it's important that really all women and men, we celebrate natural hair because I don't think anybody should be discriminated based off of the hair that grows out of our heads. So I hope everybody stays safe this weekend, you guys as well, counselors, and thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. These are the announcements for District 7. Please remember on Friday, June 30th, the Files Art Project will have their annual summer showcase. It will be here at the Boutwell, and there's free admission. So that's Friday, June 30th, and that starts at 4 p.m. On Monday, July 3rd, we do have 2 neighborhood meetings. The Grisilla Heights neighborhood will meet at 3 p.m. at the Mirador Center, and the Powderly neighborhood will meet at the Henry Crumpton Rec Center at 5 p.m. We've already noted 4th of July. We want everyone to be safe. As you know, the City of Birmingham, those offices will be closed. On Friday, the Jones Valley Neighborhood Association will meet. That's Friday, July 7th, and they'll be meeting at the Powderly Library at 4 p.m. The Oxmoor Valley Neighborhood will meet on Monday, July 10th. If you have any missed pickups, please dial 311 or 205-254-6312. Please use the app. The pictures are just, they triage your complaint or your issue, and it really helps to get that to the right resource to resolve your issue. So be sure to use that. Just want to thank our officers who are on duty today. We appreciate your service, and thank you for maintaining our safety. That's Officer Cedric Pinkert, Officer Roderick Shelby, and Officer Harry Willis. Our next City Council meeting will be Tuesday, July 11th, and so we appreciate your attention to all of those announcements. At this time, do we have a motion for adjournment? So moved. All right, thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Aye. Vote yes.